typical Interfaith Photovoice project is 5 meetings. The first meeting is more of an orientation. We introduce people to one another, to Photovoice and what it's all about. We teach them a little bit about ethical photography, how to love one's neighbor by taking photographs. At the end of that meeting, we ask them to take a series of pictures that they can use to talk about what their own religious or spiritual beliefs, practices, and values look like in their everyday life. If it's an in-person meeting, we ask that they send those photographs to a facilitator who prints them out. There's something nice about having the physical photograph there. We can pass it around the table. We can arrange them on the table. That next meeting, we come back and we have small group discussions where we put people into groups of anywhere from 4 to 6, sometimes 8 people around the table. And at each table, we try to create groups that are as diverse as possible. And one person will start off. They'll start describing their photograph. So someone maybe will bring a picture of nature and say, you know what, I really experienced God when I'm out on a hike or at the beach or see a sunset or sunrise, and they'll have a chance to tell the story behind their photograph. And we work our way around the table. At the end of that kind of a session, folks have a chance to reflect. Small groups will sort of report back to the larger group that's gathered. The homework for the third session is to take photographs that help people to see the challenges that people face in everyday life because of their beliefs, practices, and or values. In that third meeting, people will come back and we do essentially the same thing. We have small group table conversations. We begin talking. Again, people share their common experiences, some of the themes that they observed with the larger group that's gathered. And then they go home with another set of homework to do something that's a little bit difficult, and that's to begin imagining what a better world would look like. We'll say, imagine you were mayor for the day. What changes would you make? What new initiatives would you pursue in order to make your community a better place for people from every background? And that begins to move across an arc of growth, where they start with understanding in earlier meetings, learning about one another's faith, that moves to creating empathy around the challenges people experience, and then towards some level of solidarity where they say, hey, you know what, we can agree that this is a very real problem that should be addressed. People are invited to begin reflecting on all the stuff that they talked about, all the photos that they saw, and they come back for a final meeting that we like to think of as a curation process, where they're selecting themes and photographs that can be used in an art exhibition. And by the end of the night, people are beginning to have conversations and say, okay, well, what are the main themes for our conversations that we had together in small groups and as a large group? What is the message? What is the story that we want to tell? So those are the 5 main meetings that the group has. And then the final moment is when we then take the photographs and the titles and captions and make them into some aesthetically pleasing artwork that can go in community art gallery. We've had exhibitions in houses of worship, public libraries. Then those photographs can go on and continue to impact the community. And once they come down, we encourage that local group to find other places to use them. Maybe they'll go into the mosque for a few weeks, maybe they'll go into a church for a few weeks, and a coffee shop for a few weeks. And as friends and family and local leaders come through, they have the opportunity then to tell the story behind the photograph, to tell the story of their experience. And oftentimes they end up talking about the bridges that were built on a personal level between people from different faith backgrounds and how they were able to learn and feel deeply. You can contact us through our website at interfaithphotovoice.org, and we'll be in touch and have a meeting. We'll want to learn a little bit about your context and your aims for your project, and then we'll put together either an in-person or an online engagement for you to consider.